You throw something at me, I'm not so sick that I can't go down there and beat the out of you.
You don't come to my show and fight, you come to my show and dance.
Rock concerts are pretty wild. From mosh pits to drunks fighting, there's always something crazy happening. But sometimes, fans take it too far. From throwing rocks at performers to running up on stage to interrupt the show. Well, such fans always get what's coming for them, and we are here to enjoy seeing them get checked. Phil Anselmo. You're wondering why Phil Anselmo would tell a fan to get on his knees in the middle of a performance. Well, let's just say the fan was a little stupid. So, how did he get himself in such a humiliating position? November 15th, 2007. The night was alive with the electric buzz of anticipation as fans of the heavy metal band Down packed into the venue in Corpus Christi, Texas. The first sign of trouble came in the form of a beer can, sailing through the air and striking Anselmo. The music ground to a halt as the frontman, drenched in the contents of the can, scanned the crowd with a steely gaze. The audience, taken aback by the sudden break in the performance, waited with bated breath for Anselmo's response. Phil Anselmo, a man who had faced adversity both on and off the stage, was not one to be disrespected. He addressed the crowd, his voice cutting through the tension like a knife. He called out the coward who had thrown the beer, challenging them to reveal themselves, but the perpetrator remained hidden, shielded by the anonymity of the crowd. The band resumed playing, but the incident had left a mark on the night. The energy had shifted, and there was a sense of unease in the air. Then it happened again. A second beer can, hurled with the intent to disrupt, struck Anselmo. This time, the frontman's patience had run out. In a moment that would become the stuff of legend, Anselmo stopped the show and issued an ultimatum. He demanded that the next person who threw something be brought to the stage. The crowd, eager to appease their metal idol and to see the show go on, complied. A young fan, accused of being the beer-throwing culprit, was pushed forward to face the music. The stage was set for a confrontation that would go down in history. Anselmo, towering over the fan, exuded a presence that was both menacing and magnetic. The crowd watched in a mix of horror and fascination as the fan was forced to his knees, a public act of shaming him for the disrespect shown. Anselmo put him out of his misery and asked security to kick him out. He'll definitely think twice before throwing beer cans at Rockstars. Bruce Dickinson. It's July 2022, and the stage is set for a night of unforgettable rock mayhem. But amidst the headbanging euphoria, a single act of recklessness captures the attention of none other than Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden's formidable frontman. The night was alive with the roar of guitars and the pounding of drums as Iron Maiden, the titans of heavy metal, commanded the stage in Athens. But as the band tore through the song, a sudden flare pierced the darkness, its bright flame cutting through the dimly lit stadium like a signal fire gone awry. In that instant, Bruce Dickinson, the band's storied vocalist, spotted the flare from his vantage point. Known for his commanding presence and theatrical flair, Dickinson's performance took an unexpected turn. He then stopped singing until the start of the next verse. In a new interview with Rock Hard Grease, Dickinson has expressed some remorse for his actions. "Oh, the guy swinging his thing and everything else. You know what? I probably got his nationality wrong. I shouldn't have called him a Greek. I should have just called him a Dave Mustaine."
See, that's what happens when cousins.
In the electrifying world of heavy metal, where the riffs are as sharp as the tongues, Dave Mustaine, the legendary frontman of Megadeth and former member of Metallica, recently made headlines during a show in Stockholm, Sweden. Known for his fiery personality and no-nonsense attitude, Mustaine faced off against a pair of unruly, drunk hecklers who attempted to disrupt the concert. Their slurred shouts and obnoxious behavior pierced through the wall of sound, aiming to steal the spotlight from the band they had come to see. One fan shouted that he could play the guitar better than Mustaine.
"I can play better, I can play, I'll show you, I can play."
Seems like the Rockstars' patience had run out. Mustaine's eyes narrowed as he pinpointed the source of the disruption. The music briefly gave way to a tense silence as he addressed the hecklers directly, his voice cutting through the noise with a razor-sharp edge.
Shut up. Shut up.
You can play better than me.
Shut up.
Mustaine, never one to shy away from confrontation, made it clear that he would not tolerate their disrespect. With a stern warning, he signaled that their time in the spotlight was about to be cut short and that he would have them removed if they continued being unruly. The hecklers, perhaps realizing they had bitten off more than they could chew, were forced to apologize.
If I have to say it one more time, I'm going to ask the security to take your drunken ass out of here. Do you hear me?
However, the rock star had one more insult for the pair of drunks before he continued his show.
See, that's what happens when cousins
Nickelback. By the year 2002, the hate for Nickelback hadn't yet reached the crescendo it later would. Still, just like pretty much all musical acts, Nickelback already had its fair share of haters, or much more than its fair share. As a result of the way people felt about Kroger and Nickelback, some observers may have wanted to blame them for what happened in Portugal in 2022. After all, in many cases where bands storm off stage after only performing a couple of songs, they are the ones who are being divas. However, once people began seeing footage of the moments that led to Nickelback walking off stage, it was hard to blame the band. Instead, it seemed very clear that Nickelback was simply trying to perform until people in the audience wouldn't let them. In the footage that was uploaded on YouTube, Nickelback could be seen performing their second song of the night while rocks were being thrown at them. Instead of instantly storming off, Kroger tried to do what he could to make things work.
Have we got any Nickelback fans in Portugal? Are you sure? Up to you. You guys want to hear some rock and roll or you want to go home?
Kroger wasn't ready for what came next as a fan threw a rock that caught him on his head. The rock star decided that he had had enough and walked off stage, but not before flipping off the crowd.
See ya!
Black Veil Brides.
You two, all of you, come up here right now. Come on. No, I want you to play our guitars right now.
If there's one thing we've learned over the years, Black Veil Brides frontman Andy Biersack is not afraid to speak his mind, especially when it comes to defending his band. At a show in Vancouver in 2015, things came to a head when the vocalist grew tired of an audience member heckling the group. According to reports, the band stopped playing a song after a member of the crowd screamed that he wanted Memphis May Fire to come back on stage and play again. The frontman then challenged the audience member to come up on stage and play the guitar to show how it's done.
We have stopped our whole show so that you can play the guitar right now. And yet, every single time when we do this, you never have the balls to come up and do anything. Come on, split the crowd, come play the guitar, you virtuoso little.
After gaining his composure a bit, Biersack gave the hecklers an ultimatum: go up the stage and play the guitar, or leave the show altogether.
Look, man, I'm not trying to be all fucking aggressive, but when somebody wants to ruin our show, I want them to show us how much better they are than us, because we get to be up here because of people that want to see us play. So you can leave or you can play the guitar better right now.
Forcing the issue, he then tossed the mic into the crowd to let the audience member speak, but a few seconds later went into the audience to confront the person while security rushed behind him to stop the altercation. Josh Homme. In the annals of rock and roll, few moments capture the raw intensity of a live performance, quite like the night Josh Homme, the force behind Queens of the Stone Age, confronted a stage invader. By 2014, Queens of the Stone Age had firmly established themselves as rock royalty, with a legion of dedicated fans and a back catalogue of hits that had left an indelible mark on the genre. It was during this year, at the height of their powers, that a concert would become the scene of an unforgettable incident. Amidst the fervor of a live performance, where the energy of the crowd met the intensity of the band, a boundary was breached. A stage invader made their move, not knowing that they would soon come face to face with the unyielding spirit of Josh Homme. This moment would not only underscore the sanctity of the stage, but also highlight the unspoken pact between performer and fan, a pact that was about to be spectacularly defended. Josh Homme was having none of it, and he pushed the stage invader off the stage and continued his performance. Amidst the crowd's cheers, the rock star proudly said, "Don't do that. I don't know what you're trying to do. You're lucky I didn't you up, bro. I'm here to play for you, not you off, you Maynard Keenan. It's February 23rd, 1997, at London's iconic Astoria Theatre. Tool, the band known for their deep, complex musical and lyrical explorations, is about to take their followers on a journey through their latest album, Enema. But amidst the slow-building crescendos and the shamanic musings of frontman Maynard James Keenan, the script of the night takes an unexpected turn. The lack of instant thrills and mosh pit bangers appeared to be too much for one young gentleman who decided it would be a good idea to interrupt the show by jumping up onto the stage and dancing around with his arms in the air. What happened next was the stuff of legend, as Keenan, unfazed by the breach, dealt with the intruder in a manner as unpredictable as live shows themselves. The young man approached vocalist and jiu-jitsu expert Maynard James Keenan, who promptly used his martial arts skills to flip the invader over, pin him to the ground, and sit on him, impressively, without missing a beat in the song. And that's where the intruder remained for the remainder of the song, face down on the Astoria stage, while a half-naked Maynard continued singing on top of him. As the song climaxed, Keenan finally let his captive loose, and the young man, who had now been on the floor for a good 10 minutes, wearily stood up and was led off stage, looking a little confused and massively jaded by his run-in with Maynard, Dave Grohl.
You don't f***ing fight at my show, you
Back in July 2011, Foo Fighters headlined an amazing show at the iTunes Festival in London. What a night it was. In the crowd at the Roundhouse were such celebs as Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin and various members of Metallica. Then Brian May and Roger Taylor joined Big Dave on stage for a rendition of Queen's Tie Your Mother Down, and even the late Lemmy showed up. But the reason we still remember this gig was the moment that Dave Grohl proved that he runs a tight ship at Foo Fighters gigs. Amidst the excitement, a disturbance rippled through the crowd. There was a kerfuffle down at the front of the crowd, and it appeared that someone had started a fight. In an unexpected twist, Dave Grohl, frontman of the legendary band, took matters into his own hands. What happened next was a moment etched in rock history, a testament to the no-nonsense attitude of the music icon. The rock star stopped the show to give the fighting fans a piece of his mind.
No. You don't f***ing fight at my show, you
Well, Dave Grohl wasn't about to put up with anyone disrupting his show, so he did what everyone hoped he would do. He kicked out the rowdy fan from his show.
Who's fighting right now? Who's fighting? Let me see him. Is that guy in the striped shirt right there? Hey, look at you. Hey, look at me. Hey, in the striped shirt. Look at me right here. Look at me. Look at me. Get the out of my show right now. Get the out.
The rock star then made it clear that dancing was the only thing allowed at his shows.
You don't come to my show and fight. You come to my show and dance. You
Well, looks like nobody throws a monkey wrench into Grohl's plans and gets away with it.
I don't put up with that bullshit. You people come here to have a good time. That guy can off.
Josh Homme again.
Hey, do me one favor though. Don't throw any shit at me.
The year was 2008, and Queens of the Stone Age were at the height of their powers, touring the world and captivating audiences with their latest album. It was during this time, at the Norwegian Wood Festival in the picturesque city of Oslo, that a moment of discord would unfold. As Josh Homme performed, the air crackled with tension, as Homme, known for his fiery persona, was pushed to the edge. A flying object, a flash of anger, and a retort that would echo across the internet. This was not your average rock show spectacle. A fan decided to throw an object towards the rock star, and let's just say it didn't end for him.
If you throw something at me, I'm not so sick that I can't go down there and beat the shit out of you, you know?
The day was especially hot, and the rock star had been sick for several days, but according to him, this wouldn't stop him from dishing out a beating or two to anyone who deserved it.
I may have a 102 temperature and been puking for 3 days, but I'll still butt you in front of all your friends.
And then, all hell broke loose after the fan who threw the object towards him turned his back on the rock star.
Hey you, right there! Hey you, with the hat on! Hey, turn around, you the black hair! Turn the around, you chicken shit! Hey you! You I will you up!
Josh Homme then insisted that he be brought close, where he exacted his revenge by throwing an object at him.
Come on up here, you little You know what? Get your up here. You're so stupid you'll come up here. Lift him up so I can kick him in the face.
And with that, he was whisked out of the show.
You miserable Go back to your mom's house, you 12-year-old
Billy Corgan. You'd think by now if Billy Corgan had established anything, it's that he takes his music seriously, or that he cares not for what he's done, but what he's doing. So the worst thing you could do is take the piss out of him, while all he's doing is playing music. Enter this guy. Well, the rude stage invader was about to find out that what you don't do at a Smashing Pumpkins concert is interrupt a Rolling Stones cover. Billy Corgan, who had reunited with Jimmy Chamberlin on this tour, was covering Angie that night when the stagecrasher decided to invade his space. The mercurial frontman was anything but welcoming and immediately told the overzealous fan off. The fan seemed to have no care in the world as he started to dance to the tune. However, Billy Corgan made it very clear how he felt about an audience member jumping on stage to dance to his band's rendition of Angie by the Rolling Stones.
My stage before I punch you in the face.
The warning seemed to hit home quite fast. The fan must have had knowledge of Corgan's extensive wrestling background, and of course, the no bullshit tone used meant that a beatdown would follow. The stage crasher, unwilling to get punched out during a Rolling Stones cover, quickly left, and Smashing Pumpkins soldiered on. The incident had people on the internet divided. On one hand, Corgan handled the situation poorly, while others commended him. Yeah, maybe Corgan was a bit mean, but why should one audience member think themselves special enough that they alone can unceremoniously bridge the magical gap between band and fans and pose a potential danger to the Rockstars? Fat Mike. In a shocking turn of events that left fans stunned and the internet ablaze, Fat Mike, the notorious lead singer of the punk rock band NoFX, made headlines with an explosive encounter. During a live performance, a situation escalated rapidly as a seemingly inebriated fan made his way onto the stage, leading to an unexpected and violent reaction from the frontman. The footage, which circulated across social media when the incident took place in 2014, captured the moment Fat Mike's patience snaps, resulting in him punching and violently kicking the fan before a bewildered audience. The air was electric, thick with anticipation, as the crowd surged with punk rock energy, awaiting the infamous NoFX to take the stage. It was a night like any other for the band's loyal following, with fans clad in studded jackets and band tees, their spirits high and voices ready to shout along to the anthems of their youth. As the venue's lights dimmed, signaling the beginning of the show, the atmosphere was palpable. Fat Mike, the band's charismatic and often controversial lead singer, stepped into the spotlight, his presence commanding the room. Little did the audience know, this night was destined to be etched in the annals of punk rock history for reasons beyond the music. The stage, set for a memorable performance, would soon become the backdrop for an incident that would ignite a firestorm of media attention and fan speculation. It was during one of the band's cult favorites that a fan, who appeared to be under the influence, made his move. Clumsily navigating through the crowd, he approached the stage with a determined, if unsteady, gait. The music was loud, a sonic force that seemed to propel him forward as he dodged security and clambered onto the stage. For a moment, time seemed to slow as the fan stood there, swaying slightly, a defiant grin on his face. The band played on, but eyes began to shift towards the unexpected guest. The fan's presence was an unwelcome disruption, a break in the unwritten contract of respect between performer and spectator. In the blink of an eye, the situation escalated as the fan's approach was met with a swift and forceful response. Fat Mike, reacting with a mix of instinct and adrenaline, lashed out, his fist connecting with the fan in a shocking display of aggression. The impact sent the fan reeling, and before the crowd could process what had just happened, Fat Mike followed up with a violent kick, propelling the fan back into the sea of onlookers. Immediately, the fan was carried off the stage. Later, the fan was brought into the Rockstars' dressing room, where Fat Mike apologized, and they hugged it out, squashing any beef between them. David Draymond.
So what is so important going on in the world that you need to be texting the entire show?
In the heart of Dallas, at the renowned House of Blues, a night of metal and melody took an unexpected turn when Disturbed's frontman, David Draymond, unleashed a verbal onslaught that would echo beyond the venue's walls. The crowd, electrified by the band's performance, was jolted into silence as Draymond publicly humiliated a fan for an act as mundane as texting during the show.
You had your face in your phone the whole show.
The woman in question, Shannon Pardew, wrote in a Facebook post afterward, "There was a bad hailstorm going on at my house, and my 14-year-old daughter was at home freaking out, and yes, I was texting her to calm her down. But of course, the only person able to speak was the one with the microphone. He was a jerk. Disturbed just lost 2 big fans." Well, with this information, the rock star was forced to apologize to the fan. "I wasn't privy to the information of what she had going on, and when I made my original Facebook post, that information had not yet come out. I feel badly about it, and I am sorry. I can only say at this particular point that I think that tactic may be something that I, from here on out, remove from my live repertoire, because obviously there is the chance of me making that scenario happen again if I don't have the information that would keep me from making that mistake," he told reporters. Well, as we have seen in the video, it's best to be on one's best behavior in a rock and roll concert, or there will be some humiliating consequences. If you enjoyed this video, click on the boxes playing on your screen to watch similar content.